Open tomorrow after postponement on Monday following delay in the announcement of the presidential election results. And now the CS says tomorrow is the day. We have Shadrach Miti on standby to just bring us to speed on whether this day remains or what is happening. Also, I do understand, Miti, that the stakeholders in the education sector have also raised their concerns. It's good to speak to you. Good afternoon, please. What's the latest?
Good afternoon, Purity. Indeed, what the CS spoke to us a while ago was just affirming a circular issued on Saturday directing that, remember, the schools were earlier on had been directed that they reopen on Monday, but that position was moved to 18th, which is tomorrow. And in his speech, the CS tried to address so many issues. Remember, this reopening is coming at a time when education stakeholders have engaged in a discussion on whether we need to relook at the school calendar and more particularly on the examination dates. But whereas the CS did not address himself directly on those questions, he said that being a government that is almost exiting the office, he said that he would rather leave those discussions to the incoming government so that if there are any changes on the policy of education, then let the incoming leadership address that, and which possibly was looking at the idea of trying to respond to questions that have been raised. Because remember, education stakeholders are saying that there have been some interruption. Remember, the closure of school that went up to 2 weeks has already eaten into a mere 10 weeks that were meant for this second term. Remember, this second term is running for 10 weeks and schools are expected to close for their holidays on September 16th to go and rest for 10 days and resume on September 26th for the third and final term. But remember, we have already done away with the 2 weeks that were occasioned by electioneering period, which forced schools to close to allow most of those schools to be used as either polling centers or tallying centers. And so today the CS said, despite all those fears and that there might be other areas that are yet to vote, schools will still reopen tomorrow, but with the rider that if there are any other discussion that will come later to address maybe on other emerging issues, then you would rather leave those issues to the incoming government. So basically that's what you're looking at. But remember, most of the other schools that were used as styling centers, we are also informed by the management that most of the material by IBs have been moved out. Like now we are at Aquinas High School, although we have not been able to get inside there, but we are told that all the materials that were used in that school during the tallying process have already been taken out. And so the school is ready, like any other schools, for reopening tomorrow. And so we are really waiting to see if there will be any other emerging issues that will seek and need a clear attention by the government. Then still we shall be waiting closely to see what the government says about the same. Back to you, Purity.
Miti, thank you so much for that update and reassurance that the ministry is still, the reopening of schools tomorrow is still on course. Now, a day after